right, all right. Welcome back to the Military Retirement Podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon.
It is a good morning, good afternoon. Woke up this morning, feel pretty good about that. So, how's the week been, man? I know we haven't been in contact for quite some time. How's your week been?
Yeah, been okay. I've been trying to do some stuff around the house, get some stuff done at work, balance my time between work and home, which is always a challenging thing to do, especially around the beginning of the year. We had a lot of stuff going on. So, but yeah, spent most of the morning in the garden today, ripping out trees and moving brush and all kinds of fun stuff, trying to get the garden set up so we can start living in the house that we want to live in versus the house that we purchased.
What do you mean? Living in the house you want to live in versus the house you just purchased?
Yeah,
How's that
I
work?
mean, we bought it the way it was, with the intentions
okay.
to do a lot of renovations and fix a bunch of stuff. So we've been going around to the hardware stores, looking at flooring and looking at windows and doors, and the garden itself is a bunch of trees. I mean, it's great. It's really nice because you live in a place where there's a lot of lush vegetation, there's a lot of tropical vegetation, but at some point you want to have space to move around and have some sunlight come in and all that good stuff. So
That's right.
basically just leveled the backyard and left one palm tree and one mimosa tree and like one other small tree, but everything else is gone. So we've just been ripping it apart and chainsawing it and cutting it down. And
Well, damn, dude, that's a lot of work.
yeah,
And you're living the dream, man. You're living out there in Sicily. You're living out there. I don't know where you may live. Like you may have an ocean view. I don't know what, but you can't be that far from the water,
no,
And there's something to be said about living near the coast. There's something refreshing about it. We live close by. Every so often we go drive and see the water. Kind of harder here in California, potentially, but
no.
there's something to be said about something refreshing about that. So that's awesome, man. Congratulations to that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have shuttles landing their shuttle pods in our backyard in the ocean there, but like you guys did a couple days ago. That's the only news that I'm keeping track of in current events. But
Wasn't that up north? Where was that exactly?
I want
I
to
didn't even
say
see that.
I want to say they brought the shuttle back down, or the the pod back down and landed it in the ocean just right outside of San Diego. So I'm not sure where exactly it touched down, but it splashed down somewhere right outside of where you're at.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out, man, because I can't hear it. I don't know. I live close by, closer to an airport, so I can hear the planes, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything splashing down or anything. But the beauty of it is, like, I didn't hear about that. Right, I didn't hear about any news of anything splashing down in around San Diego or anything like that. Because what I did this week was I went silent. This week I went dark. I took a break because I was doing some research last week on everything, right? Like, let me look at laws and legislation and all that stuff. It was probably like Tuesday, I think I posted a video, but it was scheduled. It was a scheduled post. And I posted a video, but I was like, you know what? I got tired of reading like the new stuff. I got tired of reading all the all the legislation coming out, all the updates, all the Greenland stuff and China stuff and Russia stuff. I got tired of all that trash. And it really like started, I felt like it started to affect me like mentally, dude. Cause I'm like, man, I was started getting like overwhelmed. When you start getting burned out, start feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? This thing right here has lived on my nightstand for the last week. I've only picked it up to either turn off my alarm or I don't know, just answer texts or like talk to you right via text. Aside from that, man, I've been off of this right here. Like I just came in yesterday to rearrange a couple things, and that's why it took me a little while because I had to restart the computer and all that stuff. So I completely shut it down. and it felt good. It really did. And when I wasn't on the computer researching, my wife is like, "Hey, is everything okay?" I'm like, "Why wouldn't everything be okay?" Yeah. And she's like, "Well, you're not on your computer like you usually are, just like scrolling through research and stuff like on Congress.gov." I'm like, "Yeah, I had to take a break from that." And it
Yeah.
felt good because I did the same thing you did. I went outside and I pulled some weeds. I started planting some stuff. We're redoing our backyard. So went outside did a couple things. It felt really refreshing, man. And then I wrote down some more things about it. I what that looks like for me, what that looks like for Americans, folks that live in the United States, when they're consuming more than any person should consume. We're like, we are not made for that. We're not, I don't believe that we are built for that. So it felt really refreshing taking a break from that, man. Like I
Yeah.
didn't get up in the morning, early in the morning and immediately run to my phone. I try not to do that, but I didn't do that at all. It felt good just to be there in the moment with the family.
Yeah. I've been inadvertently, I told you I was reading that book, and I don't know if you got a chance to pick it up or not. Things Become Other Things by Craig Mod.
It's in my Amazon cart. I promise you.
I,
I have not yet pressed purchase
I,
yet.
I think you're really, really gonna like it, and it's a divergence from what I normally have been doing for the last, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years. It's been a long time that I've been doing this daily routine of mine. This morning, reading of daily quotes and kind of daily not affirmations, but daily little tidbits that kind of put me on the right path. And
Mhm.
this year, I've recently stopped doing that. So I just decided to put all the other books aside, focus on one book, and I picked that book because it was one I wanted to pick up and read. And it's simply just stories from a guy out doing a hike up and down the peninsula in Japan on his own, visiting these places and looking at all the stuff and kind of going back in his mind and recapturing some moments that he had like shut off and pushed out of his mind. But I guess my
Right.
point is like in starting to read that book, and then me and my wife, we just started watching Shogun. I don't know if you've seen the show on
Yeah, yeah, I've seen Shogun. Yeah.
yeah. So basically about the history of some of the history of the Japanese kind of feudal
Mhm.
wars and stuff going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting stuff.
so I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at this book and reading this book, and then I'm actually at the conversation that I had yesterday with the Signal Brothers. If you don't get a chance to watch that, I posted it's on the channel if you want to check it out. It was a really good conversation. We actually talked about a lot of up-to-date topics, which I don't really dive into too terribly much. Navy Cop was there. Good morning, Navy Cop, by the way. He was there supporting and got my six, like always. But I've been thinking about this a lot, and as far as like not just consumption of social media and consumption of media in general, but like the way we handle things, how we navigate life as Americans and also as military members. And we have a little bit different perspective as military members because we're in a different type of structure. Like we have a different we have different laws that we abide by. We have a different value structure that we abide by versus the general public. But in looking at all that and thinking about it and thinking about like how culture forces you to act in a certain way or to follow certain norms or
Mhm.
certain things like that. When you see something like a guy from another part of the planet come to this culture that's really deeply rooted, thousands of years old, and they've got all these like really weird kind of etiquettes that they adhere to, especially when it comes to like honor and the things where if they do something dishonorable or if they feel they're in a dishonorable position, the honorable thing is to like you know run yourself through with your knife and potentially have somebody else behind you like chopping your head
Right,
off.
right.
things that we don't understand from the outside, but if from the inside, it's totally normal, right? And so I like to look at it, especially living over here. Of course, I am around Americans a lot and on the base a lot, but I like to look at it from the outside and just observe and see like how different cultures act, even under similar circumstances. Like here in Sicily, it's a very blue collar society. It's very generally the south of Italy is a lot poorer than the north. The north has all the money. The south has all the nice beaches and all the weather. But it's generally not a lot of rich people here, blue collar working class people. And if you look at how they act versus say any blue collar town in America in the past 100 years, there's really a lot of differences, and a lot of it comes down to just respect, not respect of everybody else all the time, but also respect of yourself, respecting traditions, respecting your elders, respecting people who are talking, and not just having all out arguments with people because you want to get your point across, which happens as well. But just looking at that, like I feel like 2026 for me anyway is kind of a deep dive into that and figuring out like what culture match makes sense, what kind of cultural norms and values really are the best ones to help shape myself, potentially my kids, future kids, maybe in the future, who knows, working on that. But really just looking at that from a I guess older eyes perspective that I wouldn't take 10 years ago, and really kind of deep diving into that. And that's why I've slowed down with my reading a little bit, and also slowed down with all the stuff like you said, taking in a lot of social media and like digging through hot topics. Like I just don't do that. If it boils to the surface and it's something interesting to me, I'll take a look at it. Otherwise, I'm not trying to be conversationally fluent in what's going on in the Gaza Strip or what's going on in China or anywhere else. So
just read the early bird, man. It gives you like the top, that just the bottom line up front is what it gives you. The early
check
bird.
that out.
Yeah, so that's off of what, Defense News or Military Times or something like that. I subscribed to it, and I got like something in my email every morning when I was in uniform, and I did that for damn near 15 years. Every morning I'd open up Outlook, whatever version of Outlook that was, probably a very outdated version of Outlook, but I would open it up and get the early bird. Very, very good little piece of information. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm also curious about what's happening, because I do hear people talking about it. Hey, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on that? Some guy actually wrote a comment on the Green Logbook this past week. What are my my thoughts on ICE and my thoughts on January 7th? And I'm like, well, like what are my thoughts, or what? I forgot how he worded it. Let me see what I'll tell you right now, dude, because it was kind of silly. Gosh, can you do something on ICE or January 7th? I don't know if he meant like do something about
like
it.
Holiday on ice, like skating.
Right. Yeah. Can I do something about it? No. I'm just one person. I'm just one man. Can I talk about it? Yes. But what is there to say that hasn't already been said by everybody else?
Yeah.
You know, does my opinion really matter? So I suppose I could, but nobody's going to want to hear what I got to say. So real quick, let me go to the comments really quick, man.
Yes, sir.
Navy Cop, good morning, sir. How are you? Good
Morning,
morning.
Navy Cop.
We got Michael Wilkins, 6807. Good morning to you
Morning,
as well.
Michael.
Sir, Mr. U.S. Army Grunt. Hello,
Army Grunt. Hello.
guys. Morning. Both. You're having a great day so far. So far, it's good.
So far, so good.
Can't complain about it. I'll tell you, because I woke up maybe a couple hours ago, 2 hours ago or so. So well, I'll tell you how it goes by the end of the day. But yeah, man, that was I would advise anybody. Now, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an attorney, I'm not whatever else, a cattle herder, I'm not anything, a farmer, nothing like that. I'm just some dude who lives here. And who gets overwhelmed with the abundance of BS that's out there, whether good, bad, or indifferent. And so at that point, I just had to take a break, because there is a flood of information that comes our way through different channels. And I was outside picking some weeds, and then one of my neighbors comes by, who happens to also be retired military, and very opinionated gentleman.
Hmm.
And he comes up and starts asking me about everything that's going on, and I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I'll be honest, man. I'm taking a break this week. I don't know what the hell you're even talking about, dude. Like, I'll have to check it out next week. And he's like, oh man, shit, I gotta start doing that myself, man, because this shit it's starting to get overwhelming. And I mean, this dude is like very opinionated. I'm like, yeah, try it, dude. It's not that bad. Go outside and touch some grass or weeds or something.
Yeah.
Feels damn good with the sun on your back, So, it just connecting like that on a real level instead of being online all the time
Yep.
was also great. I felt like I had more time with my family this week than I had in a long time because I'm not consumed by everything that's happening here. And I try to stay off the news too much, but it's kind of hard to avoid it too because I'll go on Facebook. Like this morning, I went on Facebook, and thanks for all those folks. If you're watching and you're part of the military retirement group, I approved 15 new members this morning on the military retirement group. So that was awesome. Thank you all. But I was on Facebook, and I told you, like, little by little, I'm kind of pulling people off my Facebook, people that I've added on there over the years that I really don't know. Like, I could pass these people on the street and I wouldn't say a fucking word to them, dude,
Yeah.
to be honest, because I don't know them. I just add them on there, you know. And I've been slowly just taking folks off of my Facebook. It's just people that I actually know, that I've had human conversations with. There's ones and twos, networking things. Not that I'm trying to use them, but like networking pieces, right? That maybe I've worked with in the past, or maybe I know from somewhere. But yeah, for the most part, I've gone from like 600 people to like 300 or so people in the last few months, simply because I'm trying to simplify things. In a perfect
You-
world, I wouldn't have any of that social media stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like I feel like on my end, and I don't know how you feel about this, but my lack of going out and like befriending people on Facebook has kind of reverted into my actively going out and looking for people on LinkedIn. And like you said, for the networking piece, it's literally where I spend my time to go find people for the podcast. If it's somebody who's
On
interesting,
LinkedIn.
if it's yeah.
So I try not to frequent any of them because LinkedIn pisses me off.
Well, I don't read it. I just look for interesting posts and then I find people.
Yeah. So LinkedIn has become. I firmly believe LinkedIn is becoming the next Facebook, where everybody's giving their opinion. It's not. It's not a professional network like it used to be. I'll put it like that. The amount of stuff, and I don't know how this stuff gets in my feed because I don't want to read it. So I'll press like show me less of this, that type of stuff. But um, I'll use LinkedIn for like the job search, right? Because every so often I go on there and see what's available. And what else? Sometimes folks put some in-depth stuff. I'm a member of a couple pages and things like that, like the Marines page and all that. So I'll go on there and check it out. But more often than not, I see it becoming more of a very opinionated thing, very politically opinionated platform. And it's like, this is not what I'm here for. I'm here to connect with other professionals, and maybe the podcast network or the Marine Corps network, Army network, whatever it is. So it's becoming something that has changed over the years, and I don't particularly like it. I try not to get on there. I took the app off my phone. All I have is YouTube on my phone now.
Wow.
I took them all off, Facebook, all that stuff. I can only access it again through my desktop. But when I do, I just go on there real quick to check to see what's going on, and then I'm probably on there 5 minutes, no more than 10. Just take it off
Yeah.
my screen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly spend like hours and hours on any of the social media platforms. It's literally if something that I'm subscribed to shows up and it's interesting, then I'll go check it out for a minute or two, or if I'm looking
Hmm.
to connect with somebody, or if I need to answer a connection request or something like that, or send a message. But generally speaking, like I don't mind having it on my phone because I know I don't spend a lot of time on it. But at the same time, it's like I said, I do not spend a ton of time looking at, and there's a bunch of stuff that comes up that's suggested, and it's usually just I do the same with my email. I just swipe it, swipe it, swipe, especially if there's keywords that'll pop up. Like
Yeah.
on X, there'll be a lot of posts, and like the first two words is like breaking news that immediately gets deleted, like immediately gets swiped. I don't care about breaking news. I don't care about what's going on in the news. Like I'm
Fucking
trying to
everything's breaking news, dude. Every
it is.
freaking thing that's coming out is breaking news.
This is
It's
gonna change
annoying as hell.
everything.
Yeah,
So,
it's annoying.
yeah.
I'll tell you what I have been looking up though. I've been looking up flights. I've been looking up going places. After I had that talk with Rob from Ebby Travels,
Yep.
I started looking up like Space A, and I sat down over dinner. I went out with my wife at one point, and she works full time,
Mhm.
and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just like take off, like maybe for like a couple days? If I there's Space A to Hawaii,
Mhm.
from the West Coast. You can go a couple places from the East Coast, right? I can go from the West Coast to the East Coast, whatever. Just go explore, go see something, right? Space A is what, like $30 or something.
Yeah.
So for like the fuel surcharge.
30 or
So
less.
she's like, yeah, probably less. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, would you mind? She's like, no, go ahead, do what you gotta do. She knows the state that I'm in, right? Like, hey, I'm working on this, I'm trying to get things done. So been kind of searching a couple things, got a couple of emails coming in with places I want to go to. I've got Hawaii on the horizon there. Um, Not sure what I'm gonna do when I get out there because I'm like, you're there, you get off the plane. Now, what is my life? Just go check in somewhere. And the good thing is you can go check in on base. Usually they have room on base, right?
Yep.
Unless there's like a big conference or something. So that's really nice. And we have base access too. So I can go to K Bay or something, and my favorite place over there in Hawaii. So I've been looking at that. Um, I'm heading out to Virginia here in a few weeks. Got some tickets to go out there. This is not via Space A. This because I couldn't wait until they actually release the Space A flights, the seats availability.
Yep.
So I'll be making a video on that one. That's going to be pretty interesting. Kind of a once in a lifetime thing for me. So I'll be making a video on that. I won't spoil too much about it, but if anybody is interested in military history, Marine Corps history specifically, it's gonna be good to go. You're gonna want to see it.
Yeah, no flights in my near future. I'm definitely an advocate of Space A. Obviously, I love Space A. It's one of my favorite ways to travel. It does get a little bit long and tedious, but it also teaches you how to be patient and how to be flexible and how to be really just let things happen and don't control things because there's a lot of it out of your control, especially when the C5s break down and they gotta pull them off the flight line and work on them for a couple days.
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
but yeah, Spice A is a really good way to travel. It allows you to travel. It's almost like hiking, just with an airplane, right? You get out there. You don't necessarily, I mean, there's paths and there's different ways to get around the mountain or whatever path you're taking, but you don't always know what critters you're going to come across along that path. Whether there's going to be scorpions or snakes or bears or whatever. Um, and that's kind
or
of the way
mountain lions
or mountain lions.
in when you're running behind in Camp Horno and in Camp Pendleton. Yeah, there's mountain lions back there. Be careful.
So yeah, Space A is excellent. And also if you can get on the actual military birds and not the commercial like chartered birds, those are also always interesting flights. A lot of good, interesting stories to be had and people to talk to. And
Yeah,
Really fun.
yeah. I think that I had the best and worst experience on my Space A because we flew on a was it a G7, one of those like little jets? It only had like 10
Yes.
seats inside or something. It was amazing. It was being flown by some lieutenant colonel and then a captain. I want to say he was a captain, Marine Corps guy, and I was what at the time chief warrant officer too. I had my family with me, and it was like we had the whole thing to ourselves. It was like a private jet flight on this little G7. It was amazing. I would recommend to anybody who rates it. If you rate it, I think 100% VA disabled rate it, Medal of Honor recipients rate it, retirees, of course, rate it, active duty
Yep.
rates it.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a whole list, and there's categories too. I think being retired, we fall to the last category or like category 6 or something like that.
Yep. Cat 6.
Yeah, but if there's no, I mean, if you're going on a flight and everybody's for the most part working, and you don't need like your leave papers like you do on active duty,
Yeah.
just take it.
60 days out, you can start signing up for Space A. So
Yeah.
you use that timeline. Very, very helpful.
Mhm.
We do have a question from Mr. Michael Wilkins about
Yeah.
revamping of the VA system, some of the areas of the VA system. And I'm sure we've got some stuff lined up to talk about in the near future as far as guests and specific topics. But
What are your thoughts on revamp of some of the areas of the VA system? Well, I'd ask you, Michael, what areas specifically are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are we looking at like expanding the medical doctors, the nurses? So I know I just covered one. There was a bill that I covered yesterday or this week when let me actually pull it up here so I know so I can speak intelligently for once.
Mm.
Let's see. Everything, doing all the things at one time. If only you could see what's happening behind the scenes here, Michael. Let's see. Channel. Here we go. Video. The 5 veteran bills I'm tracking now. If you haven't seen that video I put out there, it's called the 5 veteran bills I'm tracking right now. And one of them is, let me see, the faster, accurate VA claims, faster and more accurate VA claims. I think that one was the Fast Vets Act. Give me a second. I'll pull it up here.
Mm-hmm. Space A on a C-141 seats faced the rear of the aircraft and brown bag lunch. Last time I did one was in the military. Yeah, they've upgraded to white box lunches, at least in most of the flights that I've been on. And yeah, I actually, for you, Vic, if you're gonna go to Hawaii, I don't know how many hours that trip is. It's probably a few hours, like 5-6 hours.
5 hours. Yeah, about 5 hours.
If you can get on one of the big birds, C5, C-17, and take one of those hammocks that you can just string up between the two trees, it stuffs down into it literally stuffs down into a little bag and just.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, I'm telling you, man, that is the best sleep you'll ever have in your whole entire life, is on a hammock in the back of a C-17. That's the best sleep ever.
Yeah, because it's constantly going this way and that way.
Yeah, it was the best thing ever.
We have some in our backyard. They're camping hammocks. We have a nice hammock, and then we have a couple of those. And then my kids, we have this big tree in the backyard, and they string it up with 550 cord and all that.
Yep.
And the nylon straps, and they strap it up. It's like 10 feet up in the tree. I'm not climbing up there, but these cats are going up there, just sleeping up there like they're freaking Huck Finn. Areas of mental health, sleep apnea. Okay. Let me see. So I was looking at the HR 3854. That's the Modernizing Veterans and Survivors Claim Processing Act. And this is kind of to modernize the VA claims taken forever. What they're doing is they're modernizing and doing some automation work, not only to that, but also to like pensions and education and Board of Veterans Appeals. The parts that are going to be automated are pulling service and medical records, compiling evidence, generating correspondence supporting decisions. And they're also required to submit an annual report to Congress on the causes of veteran deaths. Let me see, including whether the veteran was total service connected, disabled. Let me see. They're looking to speed up the dependency and indemnity compensation, or the DIC. That's the payout to survivors.
Yep.
The claim for survivors. They're looking at improving suicide prevention tracking and reducing overpayments and errors in VBMS. So that one right now, it's called HR 3854. That one's up with the Committee of Veterans Affairs. It was passed to the House in mid-September 2025. But it went from the Senate, now referred to the committee. So there's a whole lot out there going on. If you just go on congress.gov and just update, or just look up, veteran legislation, and then it'll send you updates. If you save it, it'll send you updates to your email. It's pretty good. Everything health, sleep apnea. This is the first time I've heard you guys this morning. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, Michael Wilkins.
Thank you.
Yeah. If this is your first time, we do, we're both retired. I'm a retired Marine. John is retired Army. Both of us happen to be retired Chief Warrant Officer 3s. And I don't know how we found each other, but we did.
Retired knuckleheads.
Retired knuckleheads, right? Yeah. I'm so used to walking around with my coffee mug, just office to office, talking to folks, seeing how their day was and all that. As I think it's in the Chief Warrant Officer SOP that you do that.
You have to leave your hat on your desk so everybody thinks you're still in the office.
That's it. Keep your monitor on, but take your CAC with you. Right.
That's right.
But yeah, we're retired, and John's over in Italy. I'm over in San Diego, kind of different world. So we had to find the time to meet, and it so happened to be about 8 a.m. PST. But yeah, it's been great. We've been doing this show for probably a year and a half or so, every Sunday. Yeah, every Sunday. So, and then, aside from that, I do the lives and some videos on the Green Logbook. Sometimes we'll have guests on the Military Retirement Podcast. So it's fun. It's good stuff. And a lot of it is connecting with veterans, retirees. Doesn't matter if you did 4 years or 40 years. It is great to connect with fellow veterans and see how they're doing in life. See what kind of issues are coming up. And like I mentioned, I took a break off of that for this week because it started to become like there was too much information overload. So I took a break off that. And now I see when people are very in what they're doing when it comes to news or politics, they have these breakdowns. Yeah, I get that because I kind of took a step back before that happened. But yeah, it's fun to do the show, man. It really is, connecting with other veterans, getting information out there for folks. Whether it be, we had the Cola Trap guy, was a colonel, retired. I forgot his name, Dan. Oh gosh, it's escaped me. We had the Cola Trap guy, best time to retire.
Yeah.
Colonel Fowler, that was his name. Colonel Fowler retired. Yeah, we've had a couple other people on here, producer of the Office Joe show on Amazon Prime, Nick Palmiciano. We had him on here. A couple other folks. So yeah, totally awesome that you're joining us, Michael Wilkinson, 6807.
Great to have you here. Yeah, man, we've been doing this we met 2 years ago. 2 years ago. We've been connected since then.
The funny thing is we met 2 years ago, but I've never actually met you in person.
Exactly. Not yet. Not until
I don't know if you're 3 feet tall or 6'8". I have no idea.
4'7", but have the heart of a 6'4" basketball player.
Oh, okay. 4'3", but the heart of a champion. There you go. Right. Let's see. I covered the Fast Vets Act. That's HR 4446. Let me see. That one is if anybody's using Veteran Readiness and Employment, that program, and your VA disability rating changes. A lot of times what happens is that you are stuck in that rehab plan, and it may no longer make sense for you if your rating has changed. So with this Fast Vets Act, they're allowing you to make changes to your VRD plan if your disability changes. Let me see. There's a Rural Veterans Improvement Access to Benefits Act. Damn, these things have long names, dude.
Yeah, they do.
Rural Veterans Improved Access to Benefits Act.
That's why they
That's
can't get passed.
HR. Yeah, exactly right. They can't even finish reading the damn act. HR 3951. If you live like in a rural area, like outside, like dare I say the boonies, right? It's you already encountering long drives. You already have limited providers out there. You're already waiting forever for like VA exams and things like that. So what this act does is it expands license portability. So instead of only like medical doctors, like just MDs being able to do your exams, they're expanding that to other folks like nurses, psychiatrists, anybody really who can work with the VA and has a license to work, like a medical license. They're expanding that to the entire VA system to allow them to conduct these VA exams for you. So it could be a lot more people that they're reaching out to. So it says it expands eligible providers to include any licensed healthcare professional who could work for the VA, not just nurse practitioners, physicians assistants, and psychologists. It means faster exams, closer to home, and less waiting. That one also was signed off mid-September, but it's now with the Committee on Veterans Affairs. What's another one? What's another good one here? Oh, this was a good one because I've seen a lot of this one. The Service Members Residence Protection Act, HR 2334. This one's specifically for like active duty, but I'm sure you've seen videos on like squatters that go into the home and they claim the home, and it's like you got to have like damn near an act of God just to get them out there because the cops
Yep.
can't just pull them out, you know.
Yep.
So this one right here, it's called the Service Members Residence Protection Act. Stops squatters' rights from applying to properties owned by service members while they're on active duty. So, like for instance, if you're deployed, someone can't just sit in your house long enough to claim legal ownership because you're gone, you're out of the country serving your country.
Right.
It amends the Service Members Civil Relief Act, and it says time spent on active duty cannot count toward adverse possession under state law. That is, and in the video I shared this week, I put a little snippet from Fox News. They had this lady on there who owned a house in Georgia. She was deployed. She came back, and there was a dude living in her house who wouldn't get out. And legally, you can't like drag them out of there because they claim ownership, which I think is some BS, dude. But I mean that legally you can't do that. And I don't know how like the cops can't just get them out of there. They generate some false lease. They come up and say, "Hey, I own this house," or "I have a lease," and it's not real. So this will kind of stop that. Let me see. There's another good one here. Service Members Residence Protection Act, HR 1815. It affects the VA home loan program, or excuse me, it's already law. And what did I say? Service Members Residence? No, this is the VA Home Loan Reform Act. Excuse me. This one's already law. It gives the VA tools to help veterans who fall behind on their mortgages, but it makes VA buying more competitive. So what they do here is they have a partial claim program under this act. So if a veteran falls behind on their mortgage, the VA can now pay the past due balances to the lender, and that amount becomes a subordinate lien. So there's no monthly payments with that subordinate lien. You only repay the VA once you either sell the house or refinance the house. So it's kind of a little bit of relief for the mortgage holder. Direct payments to agents, or standardized loss mitigation, homelessness prevention. Essentially, they did some research and they said that there's about 70,000 veterans that are significantly behind on their mortgage. And what this one does is it increases funding for the grant and per diem program supporting transitional housing for homeless veterans. Let me see here. And there's also steps in this somewhere in there. I can't recall where exactly I read it, but there's steps in there that the loan company has to go through before they can actually like kick you out or do anything or start foreclosure. So yeah, there it goes. Standardized loss mitigation. There are clear steps that lenders must follow before foreclosure is even an option. So big stuff coming down. Again, these are like pending that last one that I just read, that Veteran Home Loan Program Reform Act, HR. Gosh, I can't recall what it is. Anyway, you can look that up. It's already law. If you're behind on your mortgage or if you need something like that, check that one out because they can't just get you into foreclosure. They have certain steps that they have to take, and it could work out really well. We'll see.
Yeah. And as far as like the VA healthcare system stuff goes, as far as changes coming down the pipe or changes that have already been implemented, I'm not sure that the mental health one was implemented. I think it was updated in 21 Tech, but I may be mistaken. You have to just fact check me on that. But I think it was basically updating the information to spell out like who's legally available to do the mental health examinations, in what different levels, and then also the restructuring into the 5 domains of the evaluation, like the cognition, social, tasks, environment, self-care. So the mental health is definitely changing. It's been proposed to change for quite a while, and I think some of those changes are starting to come down the pipe. Of course, if you've already been rated for mental health, there's not going to be a reduction unless you can show, or unless the VA can show that there's been improvement in that status that you held before, right? And I think they're also trying to slowly increase the ways that they can offer different ways to help people out with different things that they have ailments, or if they have any physical or mental or issues that they got to deal with. They're trying to find different avenues of approach to be able to help people out with that. Because I think the idea is to try to just get people into better health, right? I mean, it's, yes, we want to get people rated, and yes, we want to get people paid, but we also want to get people better health care along that same line. So it's a two-pronged kind of approach where they're changing and updating the mandates for what certain VA ratings are and how they're evaluated. And hopefully they're doing a lot more with the PNT exams, right? Did I say that right?
That's right. That's right.
They're trying to
Or CMP.
CMP exams, trying to streamline those processes, and get better people out there to do those CMP exams, because we all know CMP exams can suck. They can be good. Just depends who you get and what information they have, what information you bring to them, and how they're feeling that day. It's very subjective, but like I said, it's a two-pronged process. Like improve the VA rating process itself, and then on the healthcare side, improve the healthcare abilities of the VA to provide better healthcare, whether that's reaching out to deep rural areas to provide care with local physicians, or improving the methods that they use to treat different things, different health issues. Too little, too late. Yeah. And also, was that
Charlton Zimmerman?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading it. It's very, very, very tiny. Charleston Zimmerman, you mentioned something about CDL, I believe, in one of the comments. If you are interested, or if anybody's interested in CDL stuff, I don't know where that comment was going. I know you guys were talking about one of the FAST Act and some other stuff. There's a place in Georgia, in South Georgia, down by the Air Force Base there in the South, and it's called GA Vector, VCTR. And they have a big facility. So if you're in the area or nearby, they have a huge facility right outside the gates of the Air Force Base down there in South Georgia. And they do a lot of training on stuff like CDL, welding, not engineering, but mechanic stuff. A lot of those hands-on kind of trades. They do a lot of that stuff in-house on the ground right there at that spot. And they also have different folks there. If you're trying to set up a business or do, build your own business, they've got folks there on the ground to help out with that kind of stuff as well. Great resource. Excuse me, if you're in the GA, in the Georgia area, South Georgia. But you can also just call them and reach out to them, and maybe they can point you in the right direction if you're somewhere else in the country, and they might have other resources that they could point you to if you need to get hands-on training on any of that kind of stuff. A great resource, great place, great facility. It's the only one like it in the country that I know of. If you know of another one, please throw in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. But yeah, any of those kind of things, reach out to them. They're a great resource.
Absolutely. I was reading about this one, the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act, HR 6047. That one's kind of controversial. It's still like kind of pending up there in Congress land. Might be one that you folks check out as well, because they're trying to get folks paid who were, I guess, who were pending or who were medically discharged or medically retired. But the payments to them, like it looks like survivor benefits increases dependency indemnity compensation for family by an additional 1% annually for 5 years. Disability benefits adds roughly $10,000 annually to the special monthly compensation for the most severely disabled veterans who require around-the-clock in-home care. But there's a controversy behind it, because where do they plan on getting that money? They plan on the folks who have 70% or less rating. They will have to pay the VA home loan funding fee on their second and subsequent home loans. Currently, all veterans with a 10% disability rating or higher are exempt from this fee. So if folks want to buy a second house, they're going to have to pay that funding fee, which can significantly be a good amount of money. I think when I was looking around, it was like, I don't know, 15, 17,000 or something like that for that. And I had not, this is before I had my VA disability rating. So crazy.
Yeah. And actually, funny enough, that HR 6047, if you click on the link to go into and maybe people want to see what we're talking about, so they can, not everybody's a nerd like we are. But
dude, this is why I get like burned out, because I get so involved in this trash that I'm like, I gotta read it. I'm writing down notes, I'm writing down scripts, and I'm like, shit, before I know it, I'm going cross-eyed and my eyes are starting to bleed.
Yeah. So all these different bills that we're looking at, and you can actually track them. So you can there's usually a little link somewhere in there where you can track it, and it'll send you like email updates. Like if you're tracking one that's just getting some steam and people are starting to get on board as supporters, it'll show you like, okay, this person joined as a supporter of this bill or whatever. This one, interestingly, is the first one I've seen like this. It's got the full committee legislative hearing on this topic in a
Which
video.
This
and this is the 6047. Yeah.
What tab is that? Because I'm not seeing the same thing.
So I just went to do a search on 6047 so I could pull it up. Maybe wait for it. And then I looked in here and I found it. This is the one you're talking about, right? Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson. So you click on that link, and then it brings you to the information for that. And they have the actual full committee legislative hearing video on that bill.
I like it.
Interesting. Never seen that before. Pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a couple that I'm following. I say a couple. There's probably like 20 of them that I'm following. One of them, if anybody, well, one of them specifically is the Forward Act. If you ever contributed to the TSP while you were in service, then you got out and you're like, man, I can't do anything with my TSP anymore. It's just sitting there. You can roll it over to somewhere else or let it live in the TSP. The Forward Act is anybody who receives 100% VA disability or anybody who is retired from the military will be able to contribute to their TSP again. So I'm I'm retired. I would love to do that again. Basically what they do is they take that retirement pay or your VA disability pay, and you can contribute a portion of that to the TSP if this thing passes. Hopefully, when it passes, the Forward Act is called. Oh, what's another one I'm tracking here? Gosh, let me know. What's Navy Cop here say? Says, let me know which ones you are following so I can add them to my tracker. Man, Navy Cop is on his game, dude. He's on
Yeah,
his game.
he's absolutely on his game.
Yeah, yeah. Gosh, there's so many here. Let's see here. Of course, there's a Forward Act. It'll come to me. Whatever. I'm looking it up. What's that? What is just outside Macon, Georgia?
No, I was just clarifying. Somebody had mentioned the Hunter Army Airfield, and that's definitely one of the air places in Georgia. But Macon, Robbins Air Force Base is where that Georgia Vector Center is, right outside the gate, literally right across the street.
Okay. For Navy Cop here, Navy Cop, all the ones that I've already covered a lot of them on the videos. I think I put out 2 videos, one for 6 bills, one for 5 bills I'm tracking. And I have all the bills in the description. So if you want to go off of that, and that's really helpful. I appreciate what you're doing, Navy Cop. Yeah, these are good pieces of gear here. What's the other one? Card VA, Veterans, VRE. Oh gosh, Major Richard Starr Act. Somebody just asked me about that one, Major Richard Starr Act. That one, I'm still tracking that one. It's still introduced. There's HR 2102, and then there is at the Senate S1032. They're kind of both introduced. There's no movement yet. You can track those if you'd like.
Yeah, and you already mentioned the Forward Act, the HR 4996, I believe.
Oh hell yeah, man! I'm looking at that all the time. Yeah, I get notifications. I get text messages on that one.
Yeah.
Not really, but yeah, they're that's one that would be huge, dude. Because I love the TSP, man. I would love to get into the TSP again, simply because I understand it.
Yeah,
I can roll over into like Vanguard or something like that. Disclaimer: not a financial advisor. Not telling you where to roll your stuff over. Not telling you what to do with your money. Just got to put that out there just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many places, but I just know the TSP. And VRNE too. VRNE. So, John, man, I got to tell you, dude, this VRNE is becoming a pain in my behind. Dude, I was supposed to start in July.
Yeah.
I was supposed to start my master's program in July, and I missed January again. Let me tell you why. This is going to be good. This is going to be a good one. 5 emails, 3 voicemails left from my counselor at my university.
Mm-hmm.
This was around November, December timeframe. No response. Emailed everybody. I just clicked and dragged my mouse over everybody's email on the contact us thing on the university's webpage. No response for like a week. And so it's been almost 2 months without a response from anybody from this university. And I'm wondering, what the hell's going on? Like, what is this? It doesn't have anything to do with like the government shutdown because they're a university, right?
Right.
This freaking guy, my counselor, let me calm down here. My counselor quit his job is what I'm finding out. Either he quit his job or he got fired or something. Never told anybody, no out of office, nothing like that.
Huh.
So I'm just emailing air at this point. I'm emailing Microsoft Outlook or whatever with no response. So I'm like, I email somebody or somebody responds to my email, which is like completely outside of any degree plan that I'm doing, like this administration person. And they're like, oh, I'm going to forward this over. We're looking at, I'm like, you're the only person that has contacted me in the last 2 months from this university. Like I've called and other counselors say they can't help me. What's going on? Oh, your degree plan, my degree plan was never submitted to the university. So when I submitted all the paperwork in July, none of that trash was transferred. And I'm like, yeah, you're still like pending. We're pending paperwork. I'm like, dude, like I submitted everything I have. I'm over here waiting to start classes. It has been a nightmare, man, for real. The good thing is I'm approved for VRD. The bad thing is I might have to switch schools now because I don't have the warm and fuzzy with this school.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's experience is not the same out there, and I've heard good things about VRD. Obviously, you're in VRD, you're using it. It's just been a nightmare, dude. It partly probably because of the school that I chose. I'm not going to say who.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and just ask the curious question out of my curious little mind. Is this school a veteran friendly school, or is it just a regular
Yes.
like state school?
It's a veteran friendly school.
Interesting.
I know
Yeah,
many veterans who have graduated from this school.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought you were going to ask me something else. Like, was your Wi-Fi on when you sent the emails? Were you doing like they were doing to Creed in the office, where he's just sending an email in a Word document? They just set up a Word document for him.
The internet's down. The internet's down. What do you mean it's down? I clicked on AOL and it didn't work. What are you talking about?
Oh God, it's been a freaking it's been a roller coaster to say the least, man. But yeah, let me see here.
Yeah.
What do we have in the comments here?
TSP, current 401k. Glad I did. Would love to hear some like little tidbits about how you did that, because I know that's something that a lot of folks getting out of the military, maybe they're not as savvy with financials. And by the way, if you're not savvy with financials and you need somebody to take care of some financial stuff, we've got a guy for you. He's a really great guy. We've had him on the podcast many times. He'll be back many times more in the future.
I got a guy.
There's
your Italian
Financial. Yeah, I got a guy for you. Capiche?
Yeah.
That's my wife would say. But yeah, MBMT Financials is a great little veteran-owned business. We've had him on, so we've vetted him as far as being a good person. And a shameless plug, like he is definitely sponsoring our podcasts now for at least the first quarter of this year. But we completely believe in Josh. We believe in everything he's doing. We love his mission and what he's doing and how he's doing it. And it's completely free to reach out to him. You can find him on Facebook. If you're in the military retirement group, you can find him in there. He's an active poster in there. If you want to see some of his interviews with us, you can look through our catalog about financial management. We've had Josh on the show many times. And if you're trying to figure out financial management or figure out what to do with maybe the TSP and how to roll it over to a 401k, which we'd love to hear about, maybe we could shoot Michael a link and have him come up, or if he wants to. But yeah, that's definitely one thing, is getting your TSP money. You can actually leave it in there. You actually don't have to move it. You just can't contribute to it. Continue to contribute to it. You'll still have access to the account once you get out of the military. But yeah, moving it over to a 401k and then just continuing to push money until they get that FAST Act approved, and we can start contributing back after we leave active duty service would be amazing. But reach out to Josh, MVMT Financial, if you haven't. We'll put a link on the screen down in the comment section or in the description for you to find that.
Yeah. And speaking of the sponsors, man, we over at the Green Logbook, I work with this company that is just kind of blowing up. They just got awarded some franchise award here, and I'm just put him up on the screen here. Very good dude. Army or Navy veteran owned, and this dude is looking to, if anybody's looking to expand and get into like franchises, this guy's looking to expand and work with veterans here. It's called Wild Bill's Craft Beverage Company, and he does like craft sodas, which sounds pretty cool. And here, let me actually, oh man, why doesn't it click? There we go. Wild Bill's Old Fashioned Soda Pop. They have these trucks that show up to like Sturgis and things like that, and then they serve these craft sodas out of these barrels on these trucks. It's pretty cool. On the wagon, build your legacy. There you go. That'll get you clicking. Why Wild Bills? Yeah, and they do like 50% off for veteran franchises. And they're looking for law enforcement folks or veterans to work with. So very cool stuff. If you're interested in this, go to Drink Wild Bills, drinkwildbills.com. Very cool stuff. Uh, awesome company. I myself was looking into this myself, and just to kind of do something, right? To get out of, like, after you leave the military, you want to do something else. Bam, here we go. Veteran owned and operated. This guy's looking to connect with other vets. So ride with Wild Bill if you want to. Drinkwildbills.com. Okay. That was, and they support the channel, so I will support them. Let me put it on here. Make sure I got the name right. Bamses. There we go. Bamses. All right. Yeah. So a lot going on. So what does the rest of your week look like? Or this coming week look like, John?
Just trying to make it through the week, man. Just get up, do my thing, get to work, get back from work, continue working on the house. Luckily enough, when I got out, I took a nice little hiatus for about 3 years from actually working. So I was working on, in that process, in that 3 years, I was working on literally what we were just talking about financially, getting my debt to zero, getting all my finances in order, which I was started working on before I got off. And I just went ahead and finished it up and sealed the deal before I then came back into the workforce. So I have just been working on that, man, just trying to keep my mental health straight. When I get a little frustrated or stressed, I'll pick up a Lego set that I have laying around, or some Legos, and start building some stuff with Legos just to take my mind off of things, keep my mental health fresh and sharp, and also distract me from a little bit of stuff. And it's a lot better than doom scrolling. It feels a lot better. It feels a lot better afterwards, after building Legos, putting together Legos. But that, trying to reconnect around the house, not reconnect, but just stay connected around the house, stay connected with my friends, my family, my wife, the dogs and cats, and then slowly learning Italian over, the course of weeks and months and years. Spending a lot of time outside, spending a lot of extra time that I wouldn't normally spend, just talking to people, just spending time with people, even if we don't fully understand each other, trying to have conversations with people in Italian, trying to talk to veterans, in between, trying to work on the TAP program on my end so I can get my foot in the door and get in there and start doing some stuff with that. But it's really just a matter of time management, and the job doesn't always help because it takes up 40 to 50 hours of my week. But in between that, I've got nights and weekends, and I appreciate those. And that's where I get my real work for myself, for the podcast, for my house, for everything that I want to do. I get that done on the nights and weekends instead of just vegging out and being a potato all evening.
Yeah, I hear that, man. That's that is something that I fall into, and then I catch myself falling into that, and I freaking hate it. I'm like, oh, I'm doom scrolling on YouTube. If it's not on the phone, it's on the TV, and I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I doing with my time? I love that, man. Connecting with folks, like real connections, man. That's where it is.
Yep.
That's why they have like these blue zones, and part of those blue zones is connecting with people, like being there in the moment, present with folks, not just online. Very good stuff, dude. That's awesome.
What's your week look like? What's coming up?
What's my week look like?
Yeah, what's coming up?
I'm trying to finish this book, dude. It's a fun read, but it's a long read. I'm about halfway done with it. This one right here, Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. He also, you might know him by the 48 Laws of Power that he wrote, banned in federal prison systems for a reason, which that's why it intrigued me, right? Like, why was this thing banned? Well, because people try to assert power over somebody else. So this one's probably not going to be the next read, because it is equally as long, but It's up there with the rest of my reading list. Excuse me. So, but the rest of the week, man, it's doing some reading, trying to engage in that. Uh, I've been scribbling all over the thing, writing notes, and I was doing some research on Ryan Holiday's method of how he writes,
Hmm.
where he takes the note cards and he goes back. He maybe takes like a week off from the book after he finishes it and goes back and starts rewriting these things on a note card, has a filing system, and that's how he gets the chapters of his books through the note cards. So really appreciated that. So potentially starting something like that because I what I used to do was write like my notes in like a notebook, but then I'd always have to go back and search for it. Like where was that quote that I wrote? Where was that thing? So it was more work than not. So I thought maybe start the note card thing. Um, I'm gonna get back into reading more about like these legislations and getting more videos done this week. I took a few days off, a week off or so, and I feel good about that. Feel a little refreshed. Like I got my mind right. Time to get back into it, and it's just fun for me. But just like anything, you need some time off.
Yep.
You know, that's why you take leave when you're on active duty, when you need like a breather, right? I took leave for this week. I probably should have put something out there because folks were like, "Hey, is everything good, dude?" Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right, man. Everything's good. I just took a breather." So that was fun. Just working around the house, doing things, and doing things. Probably, what was that quote from that movie? Wife and I are gonna have a nice little weekend at Home Depot. Home Depot. um, no, but I've been hitting the boxing gym again. So I took a while off of that, and that's kind of like my stress reliever. Is I'll do some boxing, and it's fun for me. I took my son this past week. He enjoys it, and more so hitting the bag than getting hit in the face because that hurts.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times and it doesn't feel that good, but it's a good workout. If you do like jujitsu or if you do boxing or if you do like any kind of martial arts, it gets you disciplined. It gets you in the right mindset. It's a stress reliever. Hitting something with, that doesn't move that often is a big stress reliever. So yeah, I'm getting back into the gym, doing my thing. I still get up early in the morning, do my thing, but just getting back into it, man. That's it. That's it. It's an ever evolving thing. It's never going to go away. If I want to live beyond 10 years, I need to focus on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes constant effort, like everything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Constant, persistent effort.
I'm curious what folks are in the comments. Put what you got going on this week. It's kind of. I find that if you are retired, or if you like maybe receive some kind of disability or something like that, and you have money coming in that can support your lifestyle, you need to find something to do with your time because you can really get stuck where you
Yep.
are. And like I say, these four walls, you can really get stuck. So it's like I do things on the side. Like I have these jobs that I do, and they bring in a couple dollars here and there. It pays everything really. But if I don't get out of this room, nothing's going to work well.
Yeah.
So I gotta focus on this. I gotta focus on this here. That's the biggest thing is don't get stuck. And it takes me back to what's that dude's name? Is it Combat Craig? Combat Craig, right? The guy
Combat
that did the VA disability stuff.
Yep.
And I was talking with somebody, and I don't know how valid this is, and maybe somebody can correct me, but what they said was the dude never left his house. Like the dude never left his house. Like he was there all the time.
Yeah.
Like a hermit, right? And not trying to bash the dude or anything like that. I don't know him. I don't know his story. I know that he passed away because he fell walking down to his basement and he hit his head somewhere, I believe.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, the guy never left his house to do anything. So that's not where I'm trying to end up. Are you looking it up there?
Yeah, I was just doing a little quick search on it and kickstarting my brain about what it was. I remember it happened back last year, late last year when he passed away. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will
there you go.
100%
Raider
agree.
HQ.
Yeah,
Raider HQ says agoraphobia. Yep.
yeah. Oh, Raider HQ. How's it going, man?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I like those talks on H Town Vets. Shout out to H Town Vet. I cannot recall his entire YouTube name right now, but he does some very interesting topics. I love his style because he's got like this crazy banner behind him and all that.
Yeah.
Um, and he has these good talks, right? He gets right into it, and sometimes he'll bring Raider HQ on there on the line. I've jumped on there one time, and it was good. It was good. He's got some good relevant topics. I just don't know enough about all of them to, like I said, I try to stay off the news very,
Yeah.
so often. So I don't know
That's
enough about them to comment. So, but yeah, agoraphobia, the anxiety disorder characterized by intense fear and avoidance of places or situations where escape might be difficult or help unavailable.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so first and foremost, since Raider HQ is here, and really nice to have you here with us, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. If you haven't checked out Raider HQ, I think he just hit the 10K subscriber mark, like maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
10K going on like 20 here in a few
Going
weeks.
on like 20 million. If you haven't checked out his channel, please, by all means, there's a few folks that we definitely point you towards, like Clay and CivDev and stuff like that. But Raider HQ is definitely one of those resources that you should go and check out. If you haven't checked it out and you have any questions about VA disability ratings, about how the VA does things, about how the VA rating process works, this person right here is very, very well versed in all of that. And you should definitely go check out and watch and pay attention, because you will learn a lot of things that you didn't know. You will definitely walk away with some information every single time you watch one of the videos. So go check that out. Lots of support and love to Raider HQ. We appreciate everything you do for the community, man. Really do. As far as getting out of the house, yeah, I've actually, so in the last 2 years or whatever, since I've been over here, started, never in my life have I ever imagined about driving a two-wheeled vehicle ever in my life. But I've found it to be one of the most therapeutic forms of vehicular travel that I've ever taken. And I've driven all kinds of things, from 5 and 5 tons to deuce and a halves to Humvees to race cars to you name it, anything with wheels, I drive it, and usually drive it aggressively. But two-wheeled travel on a scooter, motorbike, it doesn't have to be a big Harley or anything like that. And I'm definitely not a Harley fan. Harleys are cool, but they're not my jam. I'm not a big Harley guy, but I do now getting into motorcycles and bikes and stuff like that. Not only the process of just like being able to ride and having this clear, like full 180 view of the world coming at you through the visor, but also just the process of, because they require constant maintenance, right? You have to change oil, you have to keep the chain oiled, you have to check things, you have to do a lot of stuff to keep a bike running. So I've found it very therapeutic to be able to ride a bike the 20 or 30 or 40 minutes it takes to get from here to the office and back, through the streets and through the highways and whatever. Sometimes I take the back road, sometimes I take the highway. But very therapeutic and very calming way to travel back and forth, even if it's just on the scooter. The scooter doesn't go as fast, but very nice way to travel, because you get to see so much more than you do inside of a car with the windows and doors around you. Amazing. And you get to feel the air blowing at you and pushing you back, and like feel the the force of nature, like in real life.
Well, that's why I drive with my head out the sunroof, dude. I mean, I get the same feeling.
Ghost riding.
That's it. I just ghost ride the whip everywhere I go.
Huh.
Let me see real quick. U.S. Army grunt. I kind of have that issue, but mine is more prolapse issues and tinnitus and hearing loss. I only go out when I have to, but it is a tough fight with my panic attacks. Yeah, I get that, man. I get that. I get the tinnitus, right? The tinnitus, the constant E in your ear, right? And it's hard to go to sleep sometimes with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I have this app that just like I hear like rain.
Hmm.
That I have been using it for years, and I just hear something else in the background because it's annoying to hear that sound, that tinnitus sound.
Yep.
It's constantly, if there's not ambient noise, then I constantly am focused on it. So that really helps me out. I mean, I'm no doctor. I just know what helps me out. And if you haven't already done that, I mean, you can't really walk around with that stuff at all times, right? You need to be aware of your surroundings. But that really has helped me out with the tinnitus piece. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know how younger folks go out and wear headphones everywhere they go. I see them out, like when they're out walking or whatever, walking home from school, and their ears are covered with headphones. And I've sat my kids down and told them about this. I'm like, look, don't put that stuff on your ears when you're walking around in public, because you need to be aware of your surroundings, right? You need to know what the hell's going on around you. It's not like if you were in Japan, maybe I wouldn't care as much because Japan's a very safe place, like where we lived, especially like close to Hiroshima and all that. When I was stationed out there, very safe area, right? Very safe. Like the subways were very quiet and all that. But you go up to LA. I'm not wearing headphones on my walk around wherever in LA. It ain't that safe,
Yeah.
So yeah, not a big fan of that. Just being aware of your surroundings is key. What's Navy Cop say? Oh man, here we go. Radio HQ, thank you for your support, man. Thank you for being here, dude. Navy Cop, play music every night when I go to bed so I can tune out the song of my people. What? I'm curious, Navy Cop, what kind of music do you play in your headphones, dude?
Or maybe tune out to the song of my people. Maybe there was a word missing in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, by the way, Raider HQ, if you ever want to come on the show, just reach out to us and let us know. I know I've bugged you in your comment section on your videos a couple times, but the offer is surely there, and it's surely heartfelt. We would love to have you on as an anonymous guest, of course. Who wouldn't want to break the good thing you got going on there. But if you ever want to come on, just shoot us an email, info@militaryretirementpodcast.com, and we will set it up, sir.
Yeah. Let's see. U.S. Army Grunt says, I have tried several things. It sounds nice, calming music, but my ringing is so bad it drowns it out. Man, that sucks. I nothing a little System of a Down can't cure at night. Nice calming music.
Yeah, a little bit.
Two nuts tinnitus. I play new age piano or the age instrumental. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the tinnitus thing for me, it's pretty bad, and it comes up on a regular basis throughout the day. But I think I do a similar thing. I do I do the ambient noise thing at night. Me and my wife both put on usually like babbling brook or ocean waves or whatever it happens to be, and it's really a nice thing. As far as let me go back in these comments real quick.
You mean you don't listen to like drill instructors screaming and all that?
I used to when I was younger. Now I've moved away from that. I've elevated myself a little bit above that. The panic attacks. Yeah. So And again, this is on varying levels of varying degrees of severity, right? When it comes to this kind of stuff, I personally, you may or may not believe it, but and funny enough, my wife, when the first time she saw it and she witnessed it in real life, and she was like, "Oh, this is really like a thing for you." And I was like, "Yeah, I have uh, a social battery, and my social battery is at a certain level whenever I start the day. And then if I have to go out in public and be around people, or if there's a gathering, or if I have to go to the mall or anywhere there's a lot of people,
Mhm.
generally I stay away from places that have a lot of people, but I can handle it for a certain amount of time. So my battery slowly gets drained the more and more human interactions I have, um, depending on the human actions
Yeah.
as well, right? Because it could be like really entertaining for me, but a lot of times it's just the same old, like, how's the weather, how's your dog, how's your cat, like those kind of interactions I really hate. I'd rather have genuine, like, deep conversations with people.
Right.
But my emotional battery is very, very sensitive, and it drains down after a couple hours. And then once I'm done with that thing, like, I can put on my public face and do the public thing with people. But after that, I generally need like at least that same amount of time, if not double, to just recharge my battery in silence, usually sitting
Oh yeah.
on the balcony or whatever, on the terrace, and just getting my social battery back up to charge, because um, it's almost debilitating after spending 2 or 3 hours in public with people. It really is.
Yeah. There's here. I'll share this. Excuse me. I'll share this video. Share my link with everybody in the comments here. I'll post this link on there. It is a video I made, or an interview I had with this gentleman named Tanner Yackley. He was a Reaper drone pilot, and he talks a lot about PTSD. He has like 3,000 plus hours flying drones. He's experienced some crazy stuff as far as like not boots on the ground, but also like tracking folks and hitting that button to do some damage, right?
Right.
So he has a nonprofit that he's working on, but he talks a lot about panic attacks that he has, and he has this little panic attack kit that he sends out. You can either purchase it, but he does a lot of like the donating stuff. And what he mentioned was putting an ice pack on your chest when you feel like you're having a panic attack,
Hmm.
or like on the back of your neck. He says that that works. So I've not had one in many. I don't know how long it's been, but if I do, I mean, I have several ice packs in my freezer just in case, for whatever. I got kids, I got to have ice packs on hand.
Yeah.
But if it came down to it, that's where I'd go. So definitely check out that video if you haven't already. And I think he has his own podcast, but he is a drone operator, Reaper drone operator. He was on Business Insider recently.
Huh.
Yeah, he did a interview with him. Let me see. What are we? Everybody's talking about hearing aids. I've not. I don't need the hearing aids yet. Hopefully, I don't. I try to keep all the volume down as much as I can.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, he said he was doing a hearing study, part of a VA sponsored hearing study, and they're I guess doing a bunch of testing and stuff like that, brain scans, and then in the end of that, he's getting a new set of hearing aids. I'm
Oh, yeah.
interested in wonder who the actual hearing aid company is that's doing that. I know I spoke to at the MIC, the Military Influencer Conference last year. That was last year, right? No, that was the year before last year. Wow, that was 2 years ago. Holy crap.
Time goes by quick. Man.
Oh yeah, I was talking to the Sony rep. So as soon as I walked by and I saw the little Sony banner on their little booth, I had to, like, I hit the brakes and hit the emergency brakes and stopped and turned and started talking to everybody at Sony. But they had a
Mhm.
bunch of hearing technology stuff that they were working on, and the products that they were putting out as far as helping people with hearing loss. And they just happened to be at the Military Influencer Conference because they were starting to partner up and do things in that line of work. I mean, they do tons of other stuff. I was hoping they would have cameras and lenses, but they did not. They did have hearing aids and hearing apparatuses to help people with hearing loss at varying degrees of hearing loss. So an interesting company. I know they make great products, and I mean, I'm wearing their headphones right now as a sign of how much I love Sony products, but
Not sponsored.
not sponsored. I wish I was sponsored by Sony. Someday,
That's all good.
someday. But yeah,
Yeah. Speaking of Sony, I was actually looking at cameras yesterday myself. I mean, this is kind of like getting away from the hearing aid thing, but looking at some cameras because like I mentioned, I'm looking to expand this whole thing, this whole YouTube podcast type of thing, and I wanted to do more sit down interviews with people. And though, like, my office is in my home, right? I'm
Yep.
not bringing guests into my home, and what I'm doing is I'm contacting VA or VFWs and American Legions to see if I can utilize their areas for and different places, right? Different locations for interviews. And I've already gotten like the thumbs up from many of them already. Yeah, go ahead, feel free. We got a room in the back, or there's a lot of like downtime around this time. You can come and utilize this, whatever. They gave me a chance to do that. With that, I'm looking at different pieces of gear that I might need: microphones, cameras. I like to have like the two cameras, one facing that way and one facing this way, and another one kind of doing the whole look of the entire area. So looking to expand this a little bit. I'm we're a two-man show here for the Military Retirement Podcast. The Green Logbook is more like a one-man show, so I kind of have to figure all that stuff out. But a lot of research goes into that. Happy to do it, for the sole fact that I'm sharing good information for the masses. Hopefully I am. Hopefully I'm not just making shit up and hoping that it works. Backup power supply.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That is that's funny enough that I've been looking into that specifically for my work, but also I keep hinting to my wife, like, we had a power outage yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I mean, they have these things that you can sit in the basement and you can connect it to the main power, and like when the power goes off, the batteries kick on. You can hook solar panels. She's like, you're becoming more Italian every single day. Battery backups, man, super important for me because we have power glitches over here non-stop, and it's really a pain in the butt. But yeah, we could do a technical deep dive on some tech gear stuff if everybody wanted to hear it, or even if they didn't want to hear it. I mean, we do what we want on this show, right? Mainly helping out veterans and finding resources for veterans, but maybe that's a resource that people want to get to. I mean, I know Navy Cop did the Operation Headshot with me over the summer, doing the photography stuff. So maybe it's something that other people want to get into. We can definitely take a look at it. But yeah, battery backups.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get this this gentleman who runs a VFW. He's a VFW commander, and at one of the VFWs around here in SoCal. And what he did, he's a former Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL, and what he did was he turned his VFW into a holistic wellness center. Okay. What he did when he took over that VFW, he took out the bar, because that is kind of an antiquated thing, I think. I don't go, like, I don't frequent the VFWs. I go when there's an event, whatever. When I do go, I don't go to the bar. I don't drink often. So I think that's an antiquated thing from maybe yesteryear of, the Vietnam veterans and all that. So what this gentleman did, and I'm just going off of what I read online, is he took out the bar and made it a holistic wellness center for more geared towards OIF veterans, because that's who you see more of, right? There's a lot of Vietnam veterans in VFWs, but like, hey, yeah, we'll maybe have a little something in the back for you, or maybe not completely rip out the bar, but we also want to bring in folks from other generations to enjoy this area as well. So I reached out to him. I'm curious to see what he's got to say because when I go to the local VFW by my house, I mean, there's a lot of older folks, a lot of them, and not anybody near. I'm probably the youngest person that goes there, and I mean, I'm 42. I'm probably the youngest person. Uh, I don't go to the bar, and that's why I don't go to the VFW. I don't drink,
Yeah.
and I don't. That's not me. What I would love to see, and what I'm going to propose is um, having like a podcast studio in the back,
Yeah.
like just to kind of share stories of folks who go there. It kind of make it more welcoming. Um, Not that everybody is into that stuff, but I would love to see like my VFW have like a freaking library with a reading list or something in the back, or like, like just a quiet office space where you just want to get away from things. A sanctuary, if you will, but yeah, every time I go in there for any kind of event, there's folks at the bar. It doesn't matter what time it is,
Yeah.
you know, 10 in the morning for breakfast, somebody's ordering something there. It ain't my jam, but I'm curious to connect with this dude to see how exactly he did it, what his mindset was, and what he sees it, where he sees it going on the way, forward.
Yeah. And I mean, we're one of probably a few different outlets that actually try to capture that, right? Try to capture veteran stories. We don't really go deep into like the war stories of things. We kind of stay focused on the actual transition out of the military into civilian life.
Yeah.
But I know there's some folks that do some deep dive interviews on war stories and battle stories and things like that. Um, yep, I'll shoot it to you in the messages there, or throw it up on the screen. Either way.
Oh, here we go. It's I'll share this thing on there. It's gosh. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I just happened
No,
to
you're
come
good.
across this guy's name. Solana Beach VFW leadership aims to expand holistic services. New generation of leaders in the Solana Beach Veterans of Foreign Wars post is aiming to provide a more holistic healing option for local veterans with big plans on the horizon to upgrade and improve the facility along Highway 101.
Huh.
So serves Del Mar to Carlsbad. So
It's a nice location.
yeah, it's not bad. Retired SEAL operator, first responder. I think he was a firefighter as well, making the facility feel like a second home to draw more members in. So definitely interesting. McDermott is his name, Guy McDermott, founder of the nonprofit Next Peak, prioritizing holistic healing opportunities for veterans of foreign wars. Solana Beach as the post's next commander. So reach out to this guy, see where that's going. But yeah, I'm not never been a big fan of like I mean I was a big fan of it when I was in my 20s, going out to the bar and stuff like that, hanging out with folks.
Yep.
But now as I get older, I feel like I'm an adult now. And I don't really want to go out and drink too much. I would be interested in more health and wellness, more holistic stuff, kind of like what they provide with the VA with whole health and all that. Let me see.
Yeah.
Go into the comments here real quick. Miguel Padilla, 31. You are right, Vic. Most GWAT era veterans don't want to sit at a bar and drink and smoke. I believe what gave a rise to RWB and current Wounded Warrior type events. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm curious, Miguel. Miguel Padilla, 31. What would GWAT era veterans rather do than sit at a bar and drink? I have ideas about it. Like I just proposed one, like a studio in the back,
Yep.
like a quiet sanctuary. What, in your opinion, what would be better than a bar?
And also, just want to, we don't need to bring it on the screen or anything, but I just want to respond to Michael Wilkins' comment there. after 3 years of retirement, got back into hospital law enforcement for the sense of purpose. And yeah, you're actually in the right spot, Michael, with this community right here. We definitely talk about that a whole lot, about finding purpose, finding meaning in life after military service. What happens when you take that uniform off? I'm glad you found that, and hopefully that's helped you get past that chasm of emptiness that you feel coming out of the military and going into civilian life. I think we've all experienced it on some level. I know I have. Vic, we've both talked about it many times, and a lot of folks that we've spoke to as well, that we've interviewed on the show, have talked about that as well. Really finding the purpose, and really it's just maybe reinventing yourself, or getting around a community, whether it's here, hanging out with us and everybody in our community on the Facebook page, other veteran communities locally where you're at, the better option probably if you can. But if you can't, we're here in the interim to kind of fill that gap and help out and be the community, build the community to keep people out of those dark places and help people find that sense of purpose after retirement and after leaving the military.
Absolutely, man. It really is about real connections. I find that people want to be a part of something. I mean, we have that inside of us. That's why a lot of us join, right? Be a part of something bigger than yourself. You know, be a part of a team, a mission, community. And it's hard to find that after you leave. It really is. You know, and I'm glad that we're providing that for a lot of folks. You know, and come on board if you want. We're here. Let's see. Miguel Padilla. I attended hiking with Wounded Warrior, had coffee and breakfast, gathering at Black Rifle, sundown golfing, skeet shooting. Awesome. I like that, man. Holistic events like yoga, meditating, a lot of outdoor events like adaptive sports. Very cool. Very cool. I like that. You know what I've been wanting to get into, man? I saw it online a while back. It has nothing to do with like VA or wellness or anything like that. It was this company I saw in, I was talking to a buddy of mine, a civilian friend of mine, and maybe last year, and it was this company in Texas. And, you know, Texas has a lot of feral hogs that go and eat crops. So what they do, you pay a price, you jump on a helicopter, they give you like an M16 or AR or whatever it is, and then like with a scope, and you're basically hanging off the side of a helicopter, shooting these feral hogs as they're running down these, you know, this field. And I don't know, I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure you could find it pretty easy. But I mean, you can get like upgraded packages with like machine guns or something. I don't know what, just like tearing up these hogs. But I proposed that to a buddy of mine, a friend of mine, and I'll never forget it because we were at a soccer game. We were in the stadium watching a soccer game, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, man, you want to go out and like shoot some hogs?" And he looks at me. He's like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about, dude?" I'm like, "You ever just want to like think it'd be cool, like just hanging out at the side of a helicopter, just like snipe at some hogs?" And he's like, "What? No, that's never crossed my mind." And immediately I'm like, "Yeah, this guy is never. I don't know. He's not. And maybe I have to talk to a veteran friend of the.
Yeah. That gets into the dark humor realm of things. I mean, my only thing would be like, if we can take these hogs then, and afterwards, after the hunt, take them and put them on the barbecue and make some good, you know, pork belly sandwiches. That would be my thing. That would be my stipulation. Other than that, yeah, there's a lot. There's actually a few. I just did a quick search, and there's Warhogs, I think, is one outdoor resource hub for veterans. HSB Combat Recovery is another one. There's
Oh
a
no,
few.
the one I saw is oh gosh, it was this one here. It's freaking hilarious. It's called Hella Bacon.
Hello. Well, there you
Look
go.
at this. Look how
Nice.
I mean, look at these guys. They make it look like,
So
all
is that
legit, like
is that a
you're
Huey
deploying.
helicopter? Is that like a legit Huey helicopter?
I don't know what it is. It
It
looks
looks
like
like a
it.
Huey, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you're like point blank, just
Yeah. Well, I mean,
sniping yeah.
yeah, it looks like a Huey almost.
I mean,
Interesting.
who wants like feral hog hunting from a helicopter? I mean, it's pretty pricey, right?
It's $500. Yeah, it's a lot of
No,
money
no,
for a hog
5,000, no, 6,000.
for a hog hunt.
But look at that. You can get a minigun, full auto, night vision.
Wow.
These hogs stand no chance. I'd be curious, man. It'd be great to get like a group of folks, like military retirement, green logbook folks, to get out there and do some hog hunting over in Texas. Let see if they can give us like a group discount. Get Navy cop to go do his thing out there, shoot some
Yeah.
hogs, and we'll see.
That'd be great for your tinnitus.
Right? Yeah, wear some ear pro. But yeah, I mean, they have safety briefs, game on, 15 feet off the ground at highway speeds. And then they give you videos to relive the action. So it looks pretty cool. Again, we're not sponsored by this company at all. I was doing some research and I found this. I'm like, just like my reaction was just like Miguel Padilla's. Awesome. Awesome. I was like, all the things. I love that. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. I do the same one. I'm looking at I'm just catching up with some of these comments here.
Yeah, they're going by pretty fast today.
What will the veteran groups do about people like Lieutenant Dan? I don't know. He doesn't hold any office that I know of. I know he runs a lot of contract groups or he some companies. You got to come together and vote that stuff out, man, or show up in force and kind of use your vote if you can. Yeah, it's tough because I know that this guy, they call him Lieutenant Dan, right? So it's that dude, what's his name? Gade?
Yeah.
How he's
think
like talking to stuff on veterans benefits and how they don't really rate it, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know too much about it, but I don't know, man. You gotta voice it, man. If not, then other people will do it for you.
I think
I think you meant for people
to
that
the
are-
Lieutenant Dan comment.
If you were to do group events like this, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lieutenant Dan-esque people. I think it's because we were talking about veteran groups and VFW stuff, and somebody said, you know, if a Lieutenant Dan showed up at one of those events, yeah. Either way, same.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a Debbie Downer.
Navy cop says, dude, couldn't do it. I know they are feral and destroy land and such, but I am too much of an animal lover. We'll be vegetarian when the zombie apocalypse hits. Yeah, I guess we don't have a choice if the zombie apocalypse hits, right?
Yeah.
You gotta grow your own crops. I am a fan of bacon, though. I will tell you
I
that.
love bacon. Bacon is the best food group on the planet.
How is bacon in Italy versus in the US?
It's not the same, but I tell you what, there's some interesting. No, I wouldn't say interesting. They have the same cuts in the States. I think it's just the matter of where you get it and how you prepare it. I mean, bacon here is generally a lot thinner than it is in the States. And when I buy American bacon and bring it home and like feed it to people, they're like, "Whoa, this bacon is crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, it's American." But I mean, I'm not a vegan vegetarian by any sense of the word. I love eating animals. So if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. But um,
I've seen you bite a dog before. I've seen you.
with my teeth out.
That's it.
Yeah, I the food scene here, and again, I'm speaking from the city and like the culture here. It's a little bit different. The barbecue and the kind of like the meat and stuff. It's a lot of just fresh off the grill, and then they hit
Mm,
it with some vinegar and oregano. They use these oregano stalks that look like little brushes, and they'll use like the vinegar and stuff to kind of
yeah,
baste after they cook.
yeah.
So but the meat here is really fresh. It's not all raised on some kind of commercialized farm. It's
Mhm.
really just local meat, local farms. For the most part, you're getting really good quality meat, and just tastes different. It's really good. Anybody who's interested in some really good food, come on down. Hit me up when you get here.
Yeah, I recall being in Florence and eating Florentine steaks,
Yeah, that's a big one.
and that they were insanely huge, kind of like the
Yep.
prime rib that you get here. Delicious though, delicious. And how are the beef prices over there? Like when you see at the commissary, you've been to the commissary over there, right?
Yep. Yeah, if I can at all costs, one of the things that I do go get at the commissary that you can't normally get outside on the economy, at least not in the same packaging, is like ribs. Like I astonished many of my wife's family members with American ribs, because of the fact that they're still together. They're not cut apart before you cook them. So I cook
Mhm.
them like whole racks. Cook them usually for 4 or 5 or 6 hours, depending on the time frame and how much my wife is watching the electricity bill. Uh, but because she likes to get on me about that. But yeah, man, the prices are drastically different outside. So outside in the economy, the prices are way less for equivalent types of cuts of meat, whether it's chicken or pork or beef or whatever. That's just because we get that stuff imported from probably from Germany, but I don't know if they ship it to Germany from the States to the commissaries, or if they source it locally in Germany and then ship it down to all the other places.
Yeah.
Because Germany's like the central hub. But you definitely get bigger cuts of meat. But usually the way I buy meat on the economy here is you just go to like we have butcher shops on every corner, basically.
Mhm.
So you just go to whatever butcher shop, you tell them what kind of meat you want, and you tell them if you want it thin sliced, thick sliced, whatever pieces you want. Guanciale is a really good um, cut of pork that you can use for a lot of things. It's kind of like bacon, but not. It's more fatty. But yeah, you get a lot of really interesting, good cuts of meat, and it's a lot cheaper on the economy. A lot cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. I was curious because I went to I go to Costco every so often and go buy like big cuts of meat and stuff and like
Yeah.
ribeye. I love ribeye steaks, so I'll go to Costco and then they usually have them, right there in the meat section. Or there's like a couple like butcher shops and stuff like that around the area, but I've seen it significantly get a lot more expensive. And of course, in the last few months, I even asked the butcher, I'm like, "Hey, look, am 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 I going crazy, or did your prices go up drastically?" He's like, "Dude, we got to go with the times, man. Everything's getting expensive.
Yeah.
Like something I would have paid $50 for is now 80.
Yeah.
Something insane for the same thing, right? Like when I go to
Exactly.
Costco, it's like 6 slabs or 5 slabs of steak, ribeye steak for like $60. Now it's 85 or something. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I guess I guess I'm gonna be like a Navy cop and become a vegetarian soon. I'm like, this is not gonna work with a carnivore diet. Not that I'm on a carnivore diet, but it gets
I mean,
expensive, man.
even the cost of vegetables there are getting ridiculous too, right? In the States.
Dude, I'm growing my own stuff in the backyard now.
Nice.
It's gone to that point where I'm like, I got like, the orange trees and lemon trees, and I got green onions and stuff. I'm starting to grow my own stuff. And it's funny because my neighbor grows his own stuff too, and he's like, "Dude, I'm spending $100 to grow a 50-cent piece of vegetable here." I'm like, "But in the long run, you're going to have an abundance of this stuff
Yeah.
if you do it right."
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's getting expensive, man. If you got room for it, start growing your own stuff.
Yeah, luckily here we still have street markets and farmers markets, and it's not the same as a farmers market in the States where everything's artisanal and you got to pay 7 times the amount of what it would cost in a
Right.
grocery store. Everything here is super cheap and super fresh, and you can just tell, right? And you know if you're going to buy something from someone, you know if they're like they have a reputation to uphold, right? They're out there every single week or every other day or every day selling fruits and vegetables and nuts and all that stuff. And if they mess it up or if they do somebody wrong, the word's going to get around really quickly to everybody. So it's really a self-governing, self-checking kind of system, and it keeps the prices basically pretty low.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing I hate about the farmers markets, man. You're right. It is expensive.
It's ridiculous.
Um, yeah, go out there for a tomato. You can get a tomato for, I don't know, $2, $1.50 or whatever at the store.
Yep.
And I went to a farmer's market not too long ago. It was just like you mentioned, artisanal type stuff. $4 a tomato. I'm like, what the fuck? $4,
Yep.
you know?
I can get a kilo of
So
tomatoes for like €2, €1.
yeah, you know, that's why, I was always a big fan of, like, when I go to my family's place over in South America, man, like my grandfather's house, there's a little, like a market, like one of those, like straight up, like little stalls already built in, and then people are selling meat. They're selling, a bunch of vegetables like stacked up and spices and all that stuff. And
Yep.
every day, every day they're out there doing their thing, and it's super cheap out there. I really love doing that instead of, just having to go to the store every day. What do we got? Another comment here.
Yeah. I love these comments from Michael. They're really good. Let's just say, like many veterans, strategically place myself in public gatherings, restaurants, etc., so I can see everything around me. Overall, try to avoid large events or gatherings. Yeah, same. And again, like I was saying before, it's really just a matter of putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, even if it's just for a few seconds, maybe a minute or two, 10 minutes, whatever. Start there. Start really, really small, really, really easy, and then slowly build up the tolerance over time, and you'll find that you can do it over time for longer periods of time. And again, like me, I have the kind of social battery that just gets drained and I need to recharge it. I haven't found a
Oh
way
yeah.
to get around that, but I have found ways to get around the social kind of anxieties and be in public places and be okay with it. My head is still constantly on a swivel. I think that's just part and parcel to being in the military for so long. But I definitely have a better tolerance for being out in public and being in public places than I ever have before in my life. And that's just because I've put myself in those situations over and over and over for varying durations of time and tried to just tough it out basically for 30 minutes, then an hour,
Yeah.
maybe an hour and a half. Eventually you build up the tolerance and you can get past that kind of social anxiety. Also, just maybe as a weird kind of aside, like forgiving yourself, caring about yourself, forgiving yourself, and then also being able to then actively forgive other people for things that they may or may not have done yet, right? So taking the stigma out of your mind and the preconceived notions about people out of your mind, and just
Mhm.
try to observe wholeheartedly, maybe with childlike eyes, and be curious rather than be critical about people around you. That also helps a lot.
Yeah, I like that. When you go out, John, or even anybody in the comments too, when you go out and you are in a place like Tony Slaughter mentioned, his eyes are on the door. Everyone has a backstory, or like what Michael Wilkins just mentioned. Um, when you're around maybe a group setting, do you look around and just I guess do it like a threat assessment, like who looks like they could be a threat, who looks trustworthy, who could I rely on if I needed to, where would I go, what would I do, when you are in different public outings or situations? Has that ever come across your mind?
Yeah, it used to be really bad before, and now again, like I said, I've shifted my mind to more of a curiosity of things. I think what I've done is I've compartmentalized that part of my brain for that threat assessment part of my brain and compartmentalized it into the back of my brain. So it's there, it's running in the background as like a, I don't know, a background Windows task that runs not with the
Mhm.
window open on screen. So it's running in the background like an antivirus software. And if it detects a threat, then it'll pop up a notification in my brain and tell me like, hey, maybe you should be aware of this. But other than that, again, I try to be more observational and more curious about everybody around me, and curious in the sense of I'd like to understand who they are, how they are, what they're talking about, if they're interesting or if they're not interesting or whatever, and try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I mean, we study a lot of psychological kind of textbooks and things like that. The Laws of Human Nature being one of them, the one that you're reading right now. And that's really just about reading people, reading not just
Yeah,
people on the micro, but on the macro as well, as far as like reading societies, reading group settings,
that's right.
understanding how people work psychologically and how their brains are wired. And the brain isn't wired that much differently as it was 10 or 20,000 years ago. It still runs on that base operating system. It's just we've introduced a whole lot more inputs to the system nowadays. But yeah, I walk around curious, really curious. And again, I live in a less likely situation where somebody's going to run up on me with a gun or, come around a corner, mow down a group of people with a car. It just doesn't happen here. It's just not the
Mhm.
same. Um, so that's something that I can definitely, I really appreciate that. And I'm fond of the fact that I can walk outside and not have to think like that. Because in the States, I was, carrying a gun and had knives and blah, blah, blah. And like always had some kind of weapon nearby just in case something popped off.
Yeah,
Here, not so much. I just keep enough money in my pocket to buy somebody a coffee if I feel like I need to do that to de-escalate things.
yeah, that definitely feels like it's a thing in the US. Um, so I'll tell you, I have kids, right? You do as well.
Yep.
And I talk to them as any father should, and I talk to them about um, places maybe you shouldn't be, people you shouldn't be around, things like that. How to spot, just like Radar HQ mentioned, like body language. I talked to them about how to identify body language. Um, just things that I've learned, things that I read about. And I always tell my boys, I'm like, hey, wear a belt just in case.
Yeah.
And my son laughs. He's like, why? Why? Like, I'm like, for one, because I don't want your pants hanging off your ass, you know.
Yeah.
And I laugh about that too, because I'm like, okay, well, I don't think that these people wearing their pants off their ass understand where that came from,
No.
And if
A
they
lot of cases.
did, if they fully understood it, maybe they wouldn't want to be seen in that light. But wear a belt, and I tell them it's a weapon of opportunity. Right. And they're like, what's, tell me more about that. My kid's curious. And I'm like, well, what happens if, your hands don't work or whatever? You're in a situation, you got to do something. Take off your belt, hit somebody in the friggin' mouth with the metal, the metal buckle,
Yeah.
do something. But I also teach them like, we go boxing, we've done jujitsu and stuff like that. And teach them how to defend themselves in certain situations. But the biggest thing is like psychological, just understanding where the threats are, and I hate that I have to do that for them, but it's a real thing living in today's world. I hate that I had to do that. Now I grew up in Jersey. right? And I grew up in a place where I would never raise my family,
Yeah.
but my kids are all excited. They're like, "Hey, can we go see it?" I'm like, "Or can we go move to where you used to live?" I'm like, hell no. Just watch Lean on Me. You'll know where I grew up. You know, it ain't a good place.
Yeah.
So, but it's sad that I had to teach them that, but it's also, I believe my fatherly duty to show them these things because I don't believe the world's going to get any nicer. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems to stay pretty calm and level over here. I mean, we've got our mix of things that happen and things,
Yeah.
crazy stuff still happens, but it's not like the States. It's not even close. Not even a
Mhm.
fraction of being close.
Dude, I mean, I know exactly what you mean, dude. Like when not even I mean, Italy was beautiful, right? When I went out there, mind you, I was more like in a touristy area, but when I think about it, like when I went to Japan, when I always bring it back to Japan because it is like the model community
Yeah.
society that I would want to live in, right? Because I mean, it was so respectful. No trash on the ground. You can't even find trash cans in Tokyo. There's no trash cans out. You take your trash with you. You throw it out at home. Um, it was I went to go visit a buddy of mine who was living off base in like a traditional Japanese home, and um, it so happened that week they were doing community cleanups where everybody in the community, it was just like a known thing, would come outside and help each other pull weeds and beautify the area. And I'm like, I've never seen that before. That's like almost like what HOAs are for, right?
Yeah.
They take care of that stuff for you. But these people come together and take care of their own stuff. I can look outside and potentially see some trash on the ground across the street, and has been there for I don't know how long. It's just not the way it functions in every place in the U.S. And I was happy to be a part of that in Japan. It was great, and it got me thinking too. I was like, man, do we just move out here? This is an excellent place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thinking that's going on. I got to do some deep diving into this because I was gonna do a video on uh, best countries for veterans to move to should they not want to stay in the United States. And a part of that is countries that are veteran friendly that potentially can take care of your VA hospital needs if you need to, VA clinic needs. And I know like the Philippines has a VA hospital. I think it's one of the only countries that has a VA hospital outside of the US. So a lot of research going on here. It's giving me some things to think about. Let's
Huh.
see some comments here.
Yeah. Lots of comments. I mean, you brought
Let's
up
hit
the
the comments
questions.
real quick. No, yeah. Let's hit some comments here. Let's see. Navy Cop says Naples was different in that way. The Camorra, am I reading that right? Was quite
Yeah.
active. So things did happen. 1979 to 83, went to work every day, wondering if today would be my last, and hoped my anti-terrorism training pays off. That's a hell of a way to live, man.
Yeah.
Radar HQ says the lack of threat assessment or understanding of what happens when second responders come to a situation and do threat assessment. Says it freaks me out. I find myself constantly scanning spaces I'm in and generally keep my head on a swivel. Yeah, and it sucks that that's a way that we have learned kind of to live.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
like I said, for me, in my instance, in my personal experience, I've figured out how. Well, maybe I didn't figure out. Maybe it just happened. I don't know. But at some point, something clicked, and that part of my brain, that head on a swivel, like I'm still constantly scanning things and watching things and
yeah,
keeping my eyes open, awake, alert, aware. What I tell my kids all the time. AAA, but I've moved that kind of fight or flight response mechanism watchtower to the back of my brain. It's like my antivirus software for my brain, basically, at this point. So
Mm.
I'm constantly scanning, but I'm not actively threat assessing in the moment. It's going on subconsciously in the back of my brain. I guess I've kind of pushed it to the back of my brain.
Yeah.
So because again, it doesn't have to be as present. Even when I go to the States, though, even when I'm in the States, in Atlanta, in St. Louis, wherever I happen to be in the States, um, yeah, it's the same situation. Like I know there's a lot more threats in around me, or generally speaking, around me in most of those big cities and those big places. But I let the antivirus software do its thing and keep it updated, and I let
Yeah.
it do its thing in the back of my brain.
Yeah. And I like what Davey Cobb put up here. I do a ton of people watching, and I'm not quite as hyper vigilant as I used to be, but still to a degree.
Yep.
And that's good too. I mean, you want to. I do the same thing, Navy Cobb. I do a lot of people watching when I do go out. Not. It gets tiring to be that hyper vigilant.
Yep.
It gets mentally exhausting, mentally draining to do that all the time, because you're constantly scanning and everything's going through your mind and trying to figure things out. It feels nice to not have to do that. I think that's why a lot of times I try to avoid big groups. I was invited to a group to go out to a group this week. It was a big gathering, and I just didn't go. I just didn't feel like going. Probably for that reason, right? I don't like big gatherings,
Yep.
right? So,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, it does get tiring. He says, John, I'm in 65 years old. Believe it not, I still do that every day since 1979. It's a weird feeling, but I did it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff that's ingrained, for sure, and I think like it's not a one size fits all ever in any case in any situation. So if that's something that gives you peace of mind, by all means. But I view it the same way as you just mentioned, the same exact way I view current news events popping up every 5 seconds on social media and on TV. Like I've learned to tune it out, not to the point where I'm not fully paying attention and don't have a good grasp of what's going on in the world. It's I'm tuning it out to the point where I'm not listening to the same thing being repeated from 75 people over and over and over 1,000 times a day. That's what I'm trying
Mhm.
not to do, because that in and of itself is a form of complacency, right? Listening to the same media cycle over and over and over and over and over and
Oh
over,
yeah.
same thing. That's a form of
Breaking
complacency.
news.
Yeah, that's a form of complacency, right? If you listen to the same thing 1,000 times, at some point you're numb to it, right?
That's exactly what the breaking news is, just from different perspectives. The same shit,
Yeah.
different perspectives. You know, that it gets tiring. Oh man, like everybody's opinion. That's why I shut that trash off.
Yeah.
No, yeah, all good stuff, man. I mean, it does get tiring, and I'm glad everybody's sharing their comments on here.
Yeah.
I did find that I think I've told you, John. I went to Guatemala not too long ago with my wife for our anniversary, and there was a certain calm when I was out there. Um, like we went to a little town square in Antigua, this little place that I went to, little town, and I like the people watching. You know, I did that while I was out there in that little town square. You got the cathedral, just like they do in Europe, right?
Yep.
Excuse me. You got like the town center, the plaza is what they call it. Um, but it didn't feel like sitting down here, like a big park in the U.S. It was a sense of calm, friendliness, community. It was kind of a foreign feeling to me, if you will, and I liked it because I didn't feel like I had to watch my back at all times.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy how that works and how the environment makes you that way. But yeah. And then Army Grunt, yeah, he says, sorry for the bad sentences, typing faster than my brain working. Dude, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was like, damn, is my reading that bad? Has it gotten to that point, Vic? No, I'm just kidding, man. It's all good. All good.
Oh, gravy, man.
Yeah. So yeah, man, we covered a lot today, man.
Yep.
It went
Lots
from
of things.
yeah, from legislation to VFWs and bars and stuff like that, and or potentially no bars at the VFWs. You know,
Feral hog hunting.
feral hog hunting. What else did we? Navy cop becoming a vegetarian or something, and
Yep.
during the zombie apocalypse,
But he still likes bacon, though. I think he said he still likes bacon.
he's can he? I get, you know, he might have to go to the what's the Impossible meat?
Yep. The Impossible
Is that what
Burger.
it is? Is that even good for you? I feel like there's more preservatives in that than anything.
That could be, yeah. Plus, probably a lot of soy, which my wife is allergic to, so that would instantly kill her. So if I wanted to ever murder my wife, like that would be the way to go. Soy burgers.
You know, I'll tell you, John, you bring up soy, and it's funny. When I was at TBS, the basic school,
Mhm.
we got a class. I shit you not. We got it was like not a full class. It was just like a part of a period of instruction about soy
Hmm.
and how soy makes men have enlarged breasts,
Interesting.
and it turns rats homosexual. And I'm looking around like, is this like really? Is this like really a part of the period of instruction? What the fuck? What are we talking about right now? We had a couple people. I don't know if the instructor went off on, you know, he digressed big time, but you know, I had it written down in my notebook because I was just like, it was hilarious. Like, why are we talking about this?
Hearing aids, ribs. Yeah, we talked a lot of things today.
Ribs, hearing aids, soy, yeah, all that stuff. He talks about a mob hit, something like that. Okay, so peaceful protest going on. Okay, not a mob hit. I read it wrong.
In front of a mob. Actively.
Oh, a
burning
mob of people. I
mean,
really
that's-
read it wrong.
That sounds like a festival downtown to me. I don't know.
That's it. That's it. No, but all good, man. It's you know, you got to stay vigilant. Point blank. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's unfortunate, but it's what we got to do. You know, it's part of our psychology, especially if you served in the military, and they always teach you about threat assessments. You've had to take the annual training and click through all the way to get to the end, and part of it is threat assessments, right? So, you know, those annual trainings that you got to take, and everybody's clicking at, trying to get through. You got the little guy with the CAC, Jim, I think his name is. You know, which one of these is a threat? You know, you got to click on the paper on the desk or the filing cabinet or whatever it is. Pain in the ass. There we go.
Not moved.
Yeah. No, hey, awesome stuff, dude. I really appreciate everybody in the comments, you know, just reaching out and sharing their information. We covered a lot of stuff on sponsors that we have for the channels. Movement Financial, which is a finance company run by Josh Cantrell, an Army veteran. Wild
Cool.
Bill Craft Beverage Company, who they're actually looking for veterans to do franchising right now. So if that's something you're looking to get into, and you want to get in with a good veteran company, veteran run organization, they're doing major discounts, 50% off for veteran and law enforcement folks who want to get into that. So definitely check them out. Drinkwildbills.com. Talked about a little bit about Space A too. How wanted to get out and see the world a little bit, just see where it takes you. Space A. We teamed up with Ebby Travels, EBIE Travels, and this guy like redid the entire Space A sector, and it's amazing what he's doing. So ebtravels.com. Use code Green Logbook, all caps, to give you 20% off of I think a monthly membership. If you want to, you still get 45 days free, but so it's pretty cool. I've been using it. I'm still within my 45 days, and I really enjoy it. I got emails coming through every so often on places I want to fly from and fly to. So good piece of gear. Definitely good piece of gear. Yeah. Aside from that, I'm getting back into it after I'd say long, but a week off. So it felt good to kind of recharge a little bit.
You said did you stream that interview you did with EB Travels on here as well, or did you just do it on the Green Logbook?
Oh gosh, let me see. I can't remember.
Just curious. I remember you did it. I just wasn't sure if I saw it on your channel or if I saw it on both.
It might have been on the Green Logbook only. I can't
Okay.
recall.
I just want to go back
Um,
and rewatch that because I would actually love to sit down and talk with the guy as well. It'd
yeah.
be a nice conversation.
So I did the live stream, and then I went ahead and cut some of the parts of the live stream, and I made it a video.
hmm
So you'll find it on my videos as well,
Yep.
somewhere on here. Yep, somewhere on here.
Okay, I'll go check it out. I wanted to check out that interview because I was really curious, and like I said, I love to sit down and chat and talk shop with them and nerd out on some technology stuff with them.
Yeah, yeah, and we need to have a live stream just on tech.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
let's
I don't
do
know what
that.
you call it, veteran technology. I don't know. We can't call it vet tech because
No,
that's what's his name's this gentleman's nonprofit. I don't want to call him what's his name. It just escaped me.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, vet tech. So
our
I would
vets
love
and
to
tech.
talk about that stuff, man. And we can talk about journal stuff as well. I just went out and ordered. I don't need more pens or pencils, but I find myself ordering more. I happen to be at Walmart picking up I don't know what the hell I was picking up, but then I stopped by and grabbed like another pen because I felt like I needed it at that time, and it feels good to I'm a big stationary dude. I don't know, whatever. I like to write, and then I'll find random shit that I like to put in my drawer. So um, we can talk a little bit more about that. Maybe have a whole episode on things that we like, journals and best type of papers and all that stuff, all that
Yep.
good trash.
Yeah, we could do two separate ones. We'll do one on technology for sure,
Okay.
and then we can do
Raider HQ, I'm stealing that, dude.
sorry,
Vetnology.
already stolen. Sorry.
It's already stolen.
Yeah,
Who stole it?
me.
Oh, Vetnology. Let me see. Yeah, hey, U.S. Army Grunt, thank you for that, buddy. We can't do it without you.
No,
We appreciate you.
we appreciate you being here, man. Seriously.
Tech Arens,
Tech runs. I get
Navy
it.
cop, man. Just reading that is making my brain hurt, dude. Techerins. What are you looking up there? You got something in the background.
Niente.
Yeah, it's horrible, he says.
Yeah. But yeah, we could definitely do a tech show on you were talking about camera gear and stuff like that, podcast gear. I think
Yeah.
we've briefly talked about it in some sense of some of the stuff we do with podcasting stuff. And I know a lot of people out
Mhm.
there are trying to do something similar, or maybe want to get into video recording or just photography or whatever. Like a lot
Yeah.
of great resources for veterans, but we can definitely talk about some of the technology and have a little brainstorm session if you need to try to figure out what you might need if you want to do. I've readily thought about that, about doing live interviews, and set myself up at least technology wise for most of it. Just got to find the space and the people. So yeah.
Are you with that? Are you looking to travel when you do that? Or is it just going to be over there in Italy?
I'm trying to get to Naples to do that tap stuff, and I would like to coordinate in some way, shape, or form, because there's a lot more folks in Naples, to coordinate some in-person podcast recording. Yeah, feel like I cheated with the faceless content. Nah, I think I'm totally. I think you did the right decision with the faceless content, honestly, and I really like it, and it makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, it's a little bit more complicated when you got to deal with cameras and microphones and all this lights and stupid shit. But
I'm curious with what Raider HQ just put up there. Would you ever, or is it on your schedule at some point in the future to ever do a face content, like on camera content? I'm curious. I mean, you put out some good information.
Excellent information.
Yeah, but I'm curious about your faceless content. I mean, nothing wrong with it.
No,
Just
I,
curious if
I,
you'd
I
ever
think
do
it's
a
eventually.
face content.
But yeah, would love to get into some in-person interviews. Just haven't had the opportunity yet. Just really haven't. I've been asking people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It took
that's
me a
that's
while to get on camera myself, and I see the anxiety thing.
yeah.
It took me a while to get on camera myself, and I still sometimes don't feel comfortable with it. But it's just I had to push myself towards that. And if you can't find them on my channel anymore because I took them off. But my first couple of videos, I'm sitting there in front of my camera, like just standing there staring at the
Freaking out.
camera. You're kind of freaking out, right? You're not. I
Yeah,
mean, the first time I did a live was it was horrible, dude.
yeah.
I sat there for like an hour talking to 0 people. It's
Mm.
terrible. Um, but yeah, no, it's something you gotta, if you want to do it, you gotta work towards.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a
Yeah.
face for radio and a voice for print. A voice for print. Raider would have to fight Luna for camera time. There you go. Luna is the dog.
dog. Yeah.
The dog. Okay,
Mhm.
I've seen it. Does a dog come on? I don't know too much about it. Does a dog come on the podcast or something?
In the background noise once in a
Background.
while. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great day. Oh,
Yeah. Little puppy.
let me Raider HQ, man. Let me tell you about Great Danes. That maybe I'm sure you know all about Great Danes. When I purchased my home in North Carolina, before I purchased it, it was like a bank repo, and we were doing a walkthrough with a realtor, and there was bite marks, like chew marks, about eye height. Like I'm 6 feet tall. There was chew marks about eye height on the doorways. And I asked the realtor, I'm like, what the hell is happening in this house? Like it was all messed up, and like scratches and shit. And I'm like, oh, the owner had 2 Great Danes. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Why are they chewing on doors though? But the bank went in there and redid the whole thing. Grateful for that. We ended up purchasing that home, but it was kind of funny. And then the guy across the street from me had a Great Dane as well. Bigger house than I had. So you need some space when you have Great Danes. That's for sure.
Yeah. Those things are huge.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I have a Chihuahua pup, so mine is not it's not biting any it's biting ankles, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cool,
All right,
man.
man. Well, yeah, great stuff, dude. I really enjoy everybody being here and some awesome conversation
Yeah.
on what's
Really,
happening.
really like the comments today. Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, a lot of great comments. Definitely check us out if you're not on Facebook yet and have not joined the military retirement group. It's not just retirees. It doesn't matter if you did 4 years or 40 years. We'd love to have you on there. The military retirement group. I just this morning added 15 more people on there. So you'll see it on there. We do like a welcome aboard type of thing whenever we hit like 20 folks or so. So yeah, good stuff on the military retirement group. Let's see what else we got here. Of course, you can reach out to me on the Green Logbook. Good stuff on there. I'm getting back into it. More videos coming out this week, doing some deep dives on things now that I feel refreshed and ready to hit the ground running. What else do we have? We have, if you have any questions and want to potentially be a guest on the military retirement podcast, reach out to us at info@militaryretirementpodcast.com, and one of us will respond. The email goes to both John and I, so one of us will respond. Let me see here. What else do we have there, John?
We do have a book out if you're interested, and we probably will be updating that book at some time in the future. That's the beauty
need
of
to, we need
Amazon
to.
publishing, is we can update it and edit it and do some things with it. Still haven't released the audio version of that book. I'm not sure if it's so super important, but I would like to have multiple versions of it out there. If you want to get it, it's $2.99. It's on Amazon. It's called The Bottom Line Up Front. Just 10 short chapters on things that you should be thinking about as you're getting out of military service, and hopefully sooner than later. But just 10 short chapters to try to get you primed for getting in the right mindset to leave the military. Whether you're leaving at 6 years or 20 years or 30 years, doesn't really matter. It kind of applies in most cases to anybody getting out of the military, shifting your
Yeah.
mindset. So that's the book. Love the support. We're not trying to make $1 billion off of it. It would be sick if that happened and we could take that money and just give it to somebody like some organization. But right now we're just trying to pay the bills, and that's one way we thought about it. So
No,
love your
there you
support.
go. Bottom line up front, what you need to know before you leave the military. So it was great writing that. Oh, let me get off this here.
But yeah, love all the support. Love everybody. Hope we are giving you good information. We like to do these once in a while when we don't have a guest scheduled. We can just sit and chill and talk, and we don't have to be so on topic all the time, but just have conversations, interact with you guys in the comments every once in a while. When Vic does 17 live streams a week, a couple of those are usually bringing folks on from the audience in the comments. Maybe we'll start doing that on Sundays once in a while too. But yeah, looking forward to a good 2026 and really appreciate all of your support and helping us build this platform.
Absolutely. With that, thank you all for being here. Stay safe and stay ready out here.
Out here.